Today, of course, is the final day of the biggest military drills by China, which, of course, came about as a retaliatory measure by the Chinese after the controversial visit by the American House Speaker Nancy Pelosi made her trip to Taiwan. Beijing continues to remain pretty defiant and has refused to bow down to any kind of global calls for a de-escalation. Now, Taipei now fears that the drills by the Chinese military are actually a simulation, a rehearsal for an actual invasion of Taiwan. The Chinese jets made incursions into Taiwan's air defense zones. Its ships encircled the entire island nation, and ground troops fired live missiles, which has made Taiwan very, very anxious. Now, analysts say that in the garb of the drills, the plan is actually practicing a blockade for a possible ultimate invasion of the island. The White House has continued to criticize China's actions. White House in a statement has said, and I quote, "These activities are a significant escalation in China's efforts to change the status quo. They are very provocative, irresponsible, and also raise the risk of a miscalculation. They're also at odds with our long-standing goal of maintaining peace and stability across the Taiwan Strait, which is what the world expects." Now, China's military drills around Taiwan ended over the past few days. Now, China has fired live long-range missiles in the area, which have landed in the waters of Taiwan. While the Chinese jets and missiles have flown over Taiwan's island, Taipei's defense ministry has highlighted that the Chinese forces have repeatedly violated the median line in the Taiwan Strait. Now, China has also launched a volley of trade curbs against Taiwan in addition to the military drills that it has carried out. Now, ignoring calls by the West and also the ASEAN nations to de-escalate, now, Beijing has said that it will hold live-fire military drills in the southern part of the Yellow Sea, located between China and the Korean Peninsula till the 15th of August. All right, and to give us more insights in terms of what's actually happening in these live-fire military drills that China has conducted around Taiwan, we're joined in by Kat Thomas, who's joining us from London, and who is, of course, a journalist. Now, Ms. Thomas, this is a extremely critical and also a sensitive moment at this point of time, these live-fire military drills that we witnessed around Taiwan by the Chinese. Many are now saying that this, of course, looks more like a rehearsal to blockade Taiwan for a possible invasion. What do you make of this?
Well, it's very clear that Beijing has come out with an extremely strong and aggressive reaction. Taiwan, for its part, is mainly observing, and hopefully picking up, if they are indeed planning, rehearsing an invasion. At least we can pick up some tips, I suppose, on how to respond. China is definitely the aggressor in this situation, and Taiwan is merely, I keep on saying, they just want to defend themselves.
Right.
Yes.
And also at this point of time, the Americans have said that they'll back Taiwan. President Biden has gone on record and has said that in case there is an invasion, then the Americans would, of course, want to back Taiwan. Do you think the Americans will actually follow through in what they're saying?
It's quite interesting. It's one of these issues that does enjoy support from both the Republicans and the Democrats. And we can see that actually this recent visit by the Speaker of the House was not that unusual. We have had other delegations come of legislators from the US in just April this year, for example, and they have passed laws recently to authorize these kind of relationships at that level. So I would say that whilst the White House did seem to try and roll back slightly on that statement by President Biden.
All right.
There does seem to be generally, Taiwan is a democracy and the US has had a long-standing policy. It's also very important to realize that whilst Beijing is very busy talking about one China, this is not actually the official US position. And the official US position has not changed. It is that it acknowledges China's claim, but does not recognize the claim. And I see no reason that would change. And they are committed to supporting Taiwan through the Taiwan Relations Act. It does seem that there is a reasonable expectation that they would stand by Taiwan should Beijing go a step further than these live drills.
All right, we'll have to leave it there. Thank you very much indeed, Ms. Thomas, for joining us and getting us those insights.
Okay, thank you.
WION is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news on the move.